Welcome to Film Strip. These podcasts are spoiler-filled as we discuss the plots, characters, and themes of the films in review. All content used or discussed in these podcast episodes is the property of the respective owners and used under the Fair Use Act, Section 504(c)(2), Title 17.
Welcome to Film Strip. I'm Jay.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Ron.
And we're here to talk about Terror Train, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Ben Johnson, Hart Bochner, Sandy Curry, Derek McKinnon, and David Copperfield. Written by T.Y. Drake and directed by Roger Spottiswoode, who's now done 2 movies over the last month, wildly enough. Released in 1980, became a cult classic that inspired a 2022 remake by the wonderful folks at Tubi, and I think it even got a sequel.
It did.
Yeah, we're here because it's time for our annual holiday trash, and it's almost New Year's, and our friend Lindsay couldn't be here, but shout out to Lynn, she's here in spirit. But we're all here for this because Terror Train's been on Yield list for a while, and Ron, I want to start with you on that one. So, what's your story on Terror Train?
Well, 1 year after my annual watching of New Year's Evil, the wonderful folks at Tubi suggested that I might want to watch Terror Train, and I was like, Jamie Lee Curtis and David Copperfield, yes, I'm in. So I watched this on New Year's Eve, and I was like, okay, this movie's bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, this is such fun trash. I have to share it with the world. And after we burned New Year's Evil, I was like, well, we need to do the other New Year's horror movie. And that was this one. So,
Yeah. Ryan, what about you? Have you ever seen this before?
I have not. And I'm a big Jamie Lee Curtis fan, especially in, her career in horror films. And when you showed it to me, I was like, oh, I love Jamie Lee Curtis. How come I've never seen this one? And I I don't know what else to say beyond that. This was a treat in my personal opinion, especially when you see David Copperfield on the cast list. I think I knew what I was getting myself into at that point.
Well, then when I saw Hart Bochner on there, I immediately thought, will it be Hans from Die Hard, because it's him without the beard. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And he's playing the same kind of schmarmy asshole as he does in that movie. And I'm convinced that Doc is that guy's older brother.
so you're saying his name is Doc Ellis?
Oh,
that's
God.
what I'm going with. Yeah, I'm going with that. But
so he's going to take a bunch of LSD and pitch a no-hitter.
Possibly.
In this movie, you probably could have gotten away with it.
I think most of the cast was on some bit of substance, particularly Ben Johnson, but we'll get there. This was one that I discovered through my following. Let's watch everything Jamie Lee Curtis did in her Scream Queen era. Once years ago, and it was one of those, like, I'd rented it because the cover looked cool, and as a kid, watching David Copperfield specials on television was just like this mind-blowing experience. And he does a coin trick in this that I swear I've seen him do on television 100 times. And so I've seen him do that. I've seen him, walk through the Great Wall of China, all that nonsense. But he was a big deal. But I didn't know he had been in a movie like this. He's very young in this too. And so I was really into it. I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And it was only this time around that I realized that Roger Spottiswoode directed this. This is like his first thing. And the movie that I was referencing earlier, we had our friends from Why Wasn't It Better on to talk Tomorrow Never Dies. It was his one turn as a James Bond director. And he did that one. So it just goes to show directors used to have varied careers.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, especially considering, David Copperfield's the second biggest star in this movie, even at the time it's filmed, because he'd already done like 2 or 3 TV specials. And did you look into any of the backstory about the filming of this?
Yeah, I saw that it was all about the fact that 20th Century Fox wanted to get into this, or Warner Bros., whoever was producing, thought we need to get into the horror craze, and they dumped a bunch of money into it. And it made $8 million at the box office, but they wanted like 40, which is insane to think about, because they spent almost $3 million for this thing, and which is a lot of money in 1980. And it did not do the returns that they wanted it to do. So that's the part of it I know in the background. I don't know anything else.
Well, I could tell you that this movie was shot in a month. from like November to December 23rd
Wow.
because they had tax credits in Canada that expired January 1st.
Oh my God.
So they mashed this movie through as quickly as they could.
I mean, if only it showed. Oh wait, I mean, look, it's pretty simple. It's two cars. I mean, it's just the train cars, like the which is not a bad idea in some ways. We'll get into that as we go into this, but I remember when I rented this, back in that day of rewatching this, the guy that was checking me out at the video store right when you did that said like, "Oh yeah, he did like the Die Hard thing, like it's Die Hard on a bus, like it's Halloween on a train," and I thought, okay, I'm in, and it's not, but it
You
wants to
should
be.
never, you should not sell it like that. Just
Yeah,
because Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, you should
yeah,
not be selling it like that.
yeah. That's like saying, yeah. I mean, at that point, I think I'd already seen Prom Night, so I'd seen her do
That's
stuff.
actually the movie I was going to compare this to was Prom Night. But
Yeah.
as to some extent, it's up to interpretation whether you think I mean the first one or the Britney Snow remake.
Hey, I like the Britney Snow, and I will
I
stand for that. Yeah.
I I don't hate it, but there are definitely some like sequence of events in this movie that made me go, "Why is
Yeah.
this reminding me of when I watched Prom Night with Britney Snow?"
There are people in that remake of Prom Night that are way better than that movie, and they give
Well,
a whole lot to it, and it got a lot more than it deserved. It's not bad. Like as far as those like Platinum Dunes era horror remakes go, like
mhm.
that one and the When a Stranger Calls were actually not bad. Like I've watched that one a while back. They don't hold up necessarily what the originals were, but they're
Mhm.
watchable at least, So it's not Terrifier 3 or something.
Well, I mean, I can bring
Stay
up
tuned.
why I can bring up why, but I feel like we should probably wait until we get into the actual storyline and everything, and I'll tell
Yeah.
you what I'm comparing it to from that
Please.
film.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Look, all I'm gonna say is that the best prom night movie is Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2, and I
Okay,
think we all know that.
I will not disagree with that statement. That's
With a
fair.
title like that, automatically.
I mean, that's that just brings so many things into my head, so many memories that can bounce off of. But
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
yeah. So maybe one day we'll get around to that one. So
You
we'll
know
have to
what?
see.
Stay tuned for the end of the year. We'll do a prom. We'll do a prom themed
Month.
month.
That
Yeah.
would be fun, actually. You could do a lot of movies around prom.
There's quite a few prom movies, yeah. So a lot of rom-com proms and a lot of horror
There's,
prom.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think there's I can't remember the name of the film. I'll have to find it and bring it to everyone's attention.
I know there's one of those. 10 Things I Hate About You has like a big scene at a prom. I remember
Mm-hmm.
I
that.
love that. I love
We
that
reviewed
movie
that
so
one.
much.
Yeah, we reviewed that one years ago. There's that one, but there's all those like, I'm gonna try to make the ugly person who's actually really gorgeous, but I'm gonna try to make him
She's all
pretty.
that.
Yeah, and there's like other versions of that too. Yeah, there's a bunch of those. Like there's tons of promish movies. We'll have to get into prom season. Maybe the spring we'll have a prom month. That'll
We
be
should all
fun.
dress up in our best prom
There
attire.
we go. Right. Yeah. I don't think I own any of that anymore, but yeah.
I think I have a T-shirt that has a tuxedo pattern on it, so
I
maybe
mean,
that's
yeah,
as
you want
close
to
as I
be
can get.
formal, but you're here to party. So that's the
Exactly.
process.
I summon the great Chat JPT.
I don't know great, but here it is. So, Terror Train opens with a fraternity prank that led by a pre-diehard Hawk Bachner that's so cruel it feels like the movie itself should be sent to ethics training. Kenny, an awkward freshman, is tricked into a fake sexual encounter and humiliated beyond repair and promptly institutionalized because this is an 80s movie and emotional trauma is just prologue. 3 years later, the pranksters reunite for a New Year's Eve costume party on a train, which the movie presents as a totally normal choice and not an enclosed metal tube perfect for murder. Jamie Lee Curtis shows up as the lone person who seems dimly aware that bad decisions are made. Once again, the train departs and Terror Train unveils its true masterstroke. The killer is always Kenny, but the movie desperately wants you to think it might be literally anyone else wearing literally any costume at any time. Kenny murders people and steals their outfits, and turning the film into a high-speed slasher-themed fashion show, which continually takes a nap. The audience is encouraged to suspect random passengers, even David Copperfield, conductors, maybe even the train, while the movie quietly avoids ever committing to a fair mystery. As I said, David Copperfield appears to perform magic tricks, which somehow make less sense than Kenny's ability to change clothes, hide bodies, and sprint between cars without anyone noticing. And in the finale, the film finally admits the truth that's been stalling for 90 minutes. There's only one killer, and it's Kenny, and it's been Kenny the whole damn time. And Jamie Lee Curtis survives by doing the bare minimum of paying attention, while Kenny is unmasked in a reveal that feels less like a twist and more like the movie shrugging and saying, well yeah, obviously. Terror Train ends having successfully proven you don't need multiple killers, elaborate motives, even a cool mask or internal logic, just some costumes, Ben Johnson being grumpy Ben Johnson, and the confidence to lie to your audience until the credits roll.
I love
And
Chat
then,
Fabulous, Jay.
GPT so much.
My influence has rubbed off on this podcast so much because Jay is just crushing the jokes in Chat GPT's wrap up.
I was muted the whole time because I was laughing.
I prefer the Ron-O-Matic 5000 plot summaries personally, but we'll get back to those at another time. So let's talk though about the idea here, and I guess that's the slasher formula as it was at this point. I mean, this movie was made because all these were being made at that point. Halloween had broken that barrier through, but I mean, before that, you had Black Christmas, you had Peeping Tom, decades before, and Psycho were kind of the grandfathers of these things. But really, it's Black Christmas, it's Halloween, and then everything that comes after it. And this is in the same years, like Friday the 13th is about to happen, and all those things. And we're just cranking these out, right? It's just the same idea of let's take pretty people for the time and put them in a space and let them get hacked the hell up. And that's kind of your basic horror movie. All the time. I mean, you got Jamie Lee Curtis and her Scream Queenology here. I mean, we talked a little bit about Prom Night, and we've talked about Halloween on this show before and many times, but she's playing a different character here. She's a lot more akin to the character she played in Trading Places, to me at least. She's a lot more of a smartass.
She's a very interesting character in this because they like claim that she's the goody two shoes girl in this, and of course she's final girl, so to speak. So I guess that makes sense. But she definitely does some stuff in this that I think to myself, are you really the goody two shoes? And yeah, she is a bit of a smartass, and I think that there are also times where she definitely knows something is wrong, but she won't do anything about it, I guess for the sake of the plot. I still question why exactly she said yes to. I know that it's pretty clear in the movie she doesn't know what the prank is at the beginning.
Right.
But I don't understand. I don't think they ever explained it in the film why she was doing it in the first place, other than Mitchie saying, "Oh, you're the best bait."
Yeah, I think because they knew Kenny liked her or had a crush on her or something, and she wasn't seeing anyone at the time, so it just made sense that he would go for it. He would believe it. And she had that sweet voice when she is playing along behind the satin sheets and all that. Talking to him before he picks up the cadaver.
Right. I guess my question is, how did they convince her to do this exactly? Because I guess the implication is she was a freshman at the time, so she was gullible.
Pledge hazing, maybe?
Maybe. But then she very clearly gets on the train with all these people, that one of which she cannot stand for this exact same reason. So my thought is, girl, I know that you're leaving early. What are you doing with your life exactly? But I don't know. Maybe you guys have a different opinion.
She's going off to some sort of professional school, and I forget what school it is, but like some sort of grad school program, I guess early admittance. But the reason she gets on the train is because she thinks it's the idea of her current boyfriend, not the idea of Doc, who it's kind of implied that they had a thing leading up to the Kenny.
Yeah.
I think Doc had a thing with everyone. There was definitely some times where I thought Doc was hitting on Mo.
I think Doc has been with everybody in this movie at one time or
Hmm.
another. Yeah, all kinds. I think Doc is just that kind of dude. He's he is a well, okay, Hart Bachner has played a lot of things in his career. Some more notable than others, but as we referenced before, in Die Hard, he's like the ultimate yuppie scum, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
here he's just that scum's older brother going to med school or law school.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I mean, he's kind of feels like he's in that same vein. I mean, they're definitely med students, but he comes off like he comes from you know maybe well off family, so he can get away with this kind of crap, and he
That
just
makes
never
sense.
gets called on it.
Right, because they said he almost got kicked out. Like,
Right.
and you think, well, you must be, have money. I guess that also brings up a very good point. Is like all these characters in this on this train, from uh from Elena to Mo to Mitchie, is that they're all college students and they know that something's wrong, but they don't say anything about it because I don't know, they're young and naive. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, my boyfriend said this is his party, but this guy I can't stand is going to be on there. Well, I guess I'll go. Or, oh, my boyfriend is kind of cheating on me. I guess I'll put up with it. And with Mo, it's my friend's a horrible human being, but he's lovable, as he
Um,
tries to get him in trouble
I mean,
several times with Elena.
yeah, it's just how he does things. It's just how you always get that one friend that like covers for the other one that is just a complete imbecile, but he's just trying to be a good friend to him.
I thought Mo was going to straight up punch him when he tried to get him caught with Pet.
Yeah, yeah. Who has like the high waisted pants, like they're just
Yeah.
pretty much her whole outfit.
There was some very
Um,
interesting kudos to the costuming, because there was some costumes that would not fly in this day and age, but I was like, you know what? They're really creative.
yeah, no, there's a lot of you got like the creature from the lagoon in there. You
Mhm.
got some Groucho, I think I saw in
Yep.
there.
Yep.
The
The
sh-
first guy to get killed is Groucho.
Yeah, you got Groucho. You got a lot
Poor
of different
Eduardo.
stuff.
Poor
Yeah,
Eduardo.
poor Eduardo. You had the one scene and everybody thought it was fake. Um, I think the
Wait,
other thing too to realize is that all these people are from. I think everybody here comes from a little bit of means, is because doesn't look like it'd be a cheap thing to do for New Year's Eve.
no.
This looks
You
kind of expensive.
you rented an
So
entire train with musicians and a
magician.
magician.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely means, I would say.
Well, the funny fact is, I don't think any of them booked the magician. I think
Right. That's right.
our
They pointed that out.
Eduardo walked so that Shelley from Friday the 13th
Three.
could run.
Oh,
The
that's good.
annoying comedy
Oh,
guy.
That's good, but he didn't get as much screen time though. Shelley at least got several
poor
scenes.
Shelley.
So
Yeah, and at least Eduardo's Groucho isms were pretty funny. I did laugh at a couple of them.
yeah, they were. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
much a throwback to the Marx Brothers movies that we watched. Yeah, I enjoyed
Mm.
that. I thought it was fun. I mean, we've had this conversation before, Ron. Ron, I'm curious your opinion on this. I
Hmm.
have this theory that the 1980s, as we remember them, really are like 1985 to 1990 or so. The
Hmm.
early 80s are a lot more like the late 70s. Like
Yeah,
the
to like
Oh,
Ford,
yeah.
'94. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I could agree with that completely. I think that it's, and now that I'm watching more films with you guys, I think I'm more aware of when something is done early 1980s versus mid to late 1980s to 1990s.
Hmm.
It's you can see similarities, but there is definitely some things that became more stereotypical tropes,
Oh
I
yeah.
would say, after 1985 to 1990, which, I the like, for example, what's mentioned in the original Scream movie, I feel is more prevalent in that later part of the 80s. So, yes, I
Hmm.
agree with you completely on that one.
And that makes the setup for this so interesting because it still plays upon a lot of 70s trope stuff, which
Right.
I kind of like. I mean, it is a little bit of a haunted house movie and,
Yeah.
among other things. And I'll give this movie credit for having the idea of a moving train as a setting. Like when you have to do confined spaces for people and stuff, there's less interesting ways to do it. Now I made fun of it in the plot summary because it is kind of ridiculous, like the physics of how all this works out. And
Mhm.
that I mean, it's almost like what Kenny does can only work once, like this way, and it just happened to work perfectly. But it is an interesting idea. I think it's neat. It adds a little bit of the claustrophobia to it, at least.
Mhm. I mean, it gives him an advantage when you think about it because he's so much smaller than some of these people that he's, attacking. Um, because on top of all of that, he's using his disguises as
Mm-hmm.
a way to put people's guards down.
Ron, I don't know if you thought of this or not, but when I was watching it, all I could think of when I was watching Kenny and the guy that played him, Derek McKinnon, was he just reminded me so much of Grant Kramer and Derek Sullivan in New Year's Evil. They almost had the same
Ooh,
hair and they acted the same. They had some of the same like pathos stuff going on. I don't know.
that makes a little sense.
Yeah, I mean, these are New Year's Evil movies or New Year's Eve, evil movies, if you will. So I think they live in the same universe in some ways. Maybe this is the one in the Northeast or the Midwest, and that was in L.A. But
Yeah, maybe this is like Canada's version of the
there
Time
we
Zone
go.
Killer.
It's up where Kurt is. That's what
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
doing. So yeah, but I don't know. I liked the setting of it. I thought it was pretty neat. We talked a little bit about the cruel prank at the beginning. That's like really elaborate. Like you gotta do a lot to
There,
like
there were some Until Dawn like vibes for any of my fellow
yeah.
video gamers. I know that Until
Mhm.
Dawn came out much later, but it was it's just a prank, Hannah. I'm like,
Yeah.
and the next thing you know, the twin sisters have disappeared into the void.
Yeah.
Fam reunion? What could go wrong?
It feels like the kind
Yeah.
of mean thing that jerk kids in a Stephen King movie would do or a book would
Oh,
do, you know?
100%. I mean, that was just I think I had a different opinion of like Doc in
Mhm.
this at the beginning because he just seemed like the very doting like I'm in actually two honor fraternities. Um
Mhm.
and it just at the beginning like a little bit of the razzing sort of thing, but also gave on the I'm your big brother and I'm here to support you. And then, you know, I was like, why is Jamie Lee Curtis standing outside of the bed? And I thought, oh no, he's in charge of all of this.
Yeah.
It was very cruel.
Yeah. His reaction to it though, doing the
Oh my God.
twisty turny
Yeah.
in the bed, that was wow. I had forgotten that and I did not see that coming. That is
Yeah.
We
not wow.
we got it twice in this film
Yeah, oh yeah,
because
it's
we
like
needed to see it a second time.
Chekhov's crash out.
Yes.
Is what it was. So,
Chekhov's tornado.
yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, where they were as they were coming up with this, like, just like spin around incoherently and get real dizzy and yell at a high pitch. Why?
I,
I don't know. What else would you do? Run from the room? I don't know. I haven't been confronted with this situation, so I can't really relate. But I just
I
would
mean,
think that would not be my reaction.
maybe they're implying that he's autistic.
Did we talk about that in the '80s at that point? I don't know.
Probably not.
Have we discovered it
You-
at that point? So,
I mean, it had
I
been
mean,
discovered for like 50 years, but
so yeah,
it
but I
didn't.
mean, we just
It
beat
didn't
it out of
become
you, right?
it didn't become a thing people talked about until Rain Man happened.
Okay, so I can
So we're 7
blame.
years too early.
Yeah,
I
wow.
it came out unfortunately it's like now it's like spoiler alert triggers with True Love's kiss. I don't know because that's what I
Again?
Hmm.
thought at the end. I was
Mhm.
like True Love's kiss killed him. I don't know what happened here.
Well, I think
Was
Ben
Beauty
Johnson and
killed the
that
beast?
shovel killed him.
Yeah. Well, True Love's kiss led to a shovel to the head and then crashing into icy snow and
Right.
he'll walk it off. I mean, there was a terror train too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're in the 2020s, but yeah.
The
Wasn't
best.
there? Oh yeah.
So the best part of that icy crash is the stuntman refused to do it. because the
I don't
water was
blame
too
him.
cold.
Yeah.
So they just got they just got a production designer who's like, screw it, I'll do it. And the production designer dove into the water.
He
What
he
happens?
created the first polar plunge.
There
Call
you
it
go.
polar plunge.
That's
Yeah.
that's perfect. I did not think about that, but that is excellent. Yeah.
This is
I
where Wim
really
Hof got the idea. Yeah.
I really love how they just kept panning on it. They just kept watching this body go down the river, and I was like,
So,
and that's why I thought maybe this was leading to a sequel, or they thought it would, so that kind of like
It's
those
100%.
early like
I-
Scream Queen movies where it's like, yep,
yeah.
he's dead. There's no way he's coming back. He's so dead. And I'm like,
I mean,
He
somebody's gonna
grabs
find
a
him
branch or something. Yeah.
along
that
the
was
water line. Little old lady's gonna save him, and she's gonna kill him, and we'll wind up with Terror Train 2.
he's gonna wind up like being taken care of by a houseless person in a hovel,
Yes.
and then get the curse of thorn, and
Yep.
his
Or
mask is
like
gonna get all messed up. It's gonna be
or
weird.
like blind persons like, oh,
And
this poor
then
soul.
some random friend you didn't know the main character had, who's clearly on cocaine, will take over the movie for reasons.
No. It'll be his mother who wants revenge for all the
Ah,
trauma that he went through.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was about to go there. I think I knew Kenny was always the killer of this story, but for like 5 minutes and for several scenes of the way Ben Johnson plays, I'm like, is he going to be like Kenny's dad getting revenge? Because that would have been an angle to go with.
I did have, you guys are going to laugh at me for 2 seconds. I actually thought, is Kenny David Copperfield? He just glammed up a little bit. And then I went, well, the assistant is clearly in on it because there's no way that he can be there and be there. So I thought, is this like a sister? Is this like, I don't, like a girlfriend who's like, you want to get revenge on all these people? Yeah, I'm down because we've seen that.
Like a Mickey Mallory situation.
Yeah,
they could have done that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or
Well, and later in the
Valentine's
movie,
Day.
they do say that his first name is Ken.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
That is right.
So they're not just implying it; they're straight out saying, "Maybe this is Kenny. What do you think?"
Right. Yeah.
David
I don't know.
Copperfield.
There's lots of red herrings that,
And he's
aren't
doing a
bad
lot
enough.
of, and he's doing a lot of like weird staring off into middle distance. That
Like staring at her too.
Isn't that
may
what
have been a
David Copperfield
choice.
does?
I was gonna say
Well,
that may have been the director telling him to do that. That may have just been David Copperfield's instrument. You never know.
Yeah.
I think the rose also was kind of a moment where because I thought to myself, is she gonna fall for him? Because at the time I thought Mo's kind of a crappy boyfriend.
Yeah. He
He's
sucked.
he's
Yeah.
okay. This is just, I have been really into Reddit right now, and the thread,
Uh-oh.
am I the asshole? And all I could,
Ah,
and there were so many moments in between the two of them where I could see this being a Reddit post.
Yep.
Am I the asshole for defending my friend when my girlfriend hates him? Or am I the asshole for walking away from my boyfriend because he's got a toxic relationship with his frat brother?
Also, am I the asshole because this girl is throwing herself at me and I am literally trying to get away from her?
Oh my
all
God,
the
yeah.
time?
Am I
So,
the asshole for being mad at my friend for trying to get me in trouble for cheating on my girlfriend? And you know,
am
it
I
was
the?
an anything's go sort of thing. Oh, what were you going to say, Ron?
I was gonna say, am I the asshole for playing a terrible prank that put somebody in a mental hospital?
Yes.
yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, yeah, the idea of the escape mental patient. I mean, again, that's in Halloween. That's been in 100 things. It's urban legend at this point,
Mhm.
right? And I love the idea though that he did they ever clearly say did he escape or did he just get out? Did he fake
Nope.
it enough?
Okay, so what they say is there was an incident in his past where he may or may not have murdered someone,
Okay.
May or may not, allegedly.
but he did spend time in an institution and then was released after he recovered.
Oh, did they say
okay.
released? I must have missed that. Okay.
Yeah,
So
because they
I mean,
talk about it like, why did? Because Alana is talking to Doc. She's like, why did it have to be Kenny? Blah blah blah.
mhm.
And they kind of go over what they pieced together of his backstory. And apparently, according to Roger Spottiswoode, he backed over his mother with the car,
Oh wow.
and
Well,
that's
then
why it's
that's why it's not his
that's
mom.
why it might have been that's why it might have been an accident and not
Oh,
something deliberate.
so that was
Huh.
the initial psychological break, and then he gets to college,
Uh,
and his friends are going to hook him up with Jamie Lee Curtis, but it's actually a dead corpse. So that
Hmm.
sends him spiraling, literally, at that point. And then in his recovery, he comes up with the most wicked, elaborate revenge plan maybe ever concocted by a killer. I mean,
he,
there's a lot. He's got a lot of planning to pull this together, and
Look,
again, it all has
it
to go perfectly.
it's not Kenny's fault that he subscribed to the Herbert West dating service. He didn't realize he was going to get a dead body. He thought he was going to get the
That's
Frankenhooker,
that's fair. Yeah.
who admittedly is not dead, or at least not completely dead.
No, no.
I think you actually went on to something, right, Jay?
I,
He literally was spiraling. I'm wondering if
yeah.
that was the director's like idea. It's like, okay, you're
Oh,
spiraling,
I
so
didn't think
now
about
you're
it like
just gonna
that.
helicopter
Oh, that's a
twice.
good idea. I hadn't thought about that.
And it
That's
No,
actually
you did
it.
and
in
it's
some way.
Yeah.
and it's very funny because Derek McKinnon wasn't an actor. He
No,
was
clearly,
like
no.
he was like he was like a trans performer, like a drag queen
Yeah, yeah, because he
that they
pulled that off
hired from
really
Toronto,
well. Yeah.
and Roger Spottiswoode hated him. And
Really?
so to get him, it's like during like screen test to get him angry, he would just start using like all the slurs he could think of,
Oh,
Oh
that's creepy.
God.
That's
and get him
icky.
and get him really pissed off, and be like, okay, perfect, that's exactly what we need.
He's having a
Oh,
And of
method
course, this
directing.
guy who's not a trained actor, and
Yeah.
as far as I know, didn't go on to do anything else
probably because he
acting.
thought every director was gonna freaking do that to him. I can't blame him.
Yeah, and so there's definitely like a mismatch of maybe you should
I,
explain to the guy what you're doing,
Yeah,
or
but
I'm
maybe have
no,
Ben
that
Johnson talk to him.
Ron, in my line of work, that's what we call rocket science.
there we
Mhm.
So
go.
if I say
I
rocket science now,
And
we
he
know.
even made him do like
Mhm.
boxing classes to try to get
Yeah.
him to have
Well,
more aggression.
I don't know why
Oh,
you need that guy to do anything. He's 6'2". He's bigger than everybody in the
Yeah,
set. Why
exactly.
just going up? You're automatically menacing. So I mean, he was in a couple other movies. He was in something called Breaking All the Rules in 1985, which I think is about like I don't know. It's one of those 80s sex comedy things. I've seen pieces of it. I've never seen the whole thing, but I know he's been in that. But I don't think he did much else beyond that. But she's just to know he got like tortured by Roger Spottiswoode sucks.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
yeah.
he's not a good actor. I mean, he was not an actor. I mean, clearly, and I'm not either. But geez, this guy's bad. But he's not
And
asked to do a whole lot either. I mean, on one hand,
he didn't
he's
really
not.
have to talk.
Yeah, he's not any good. But on the other hand, he did a really good job of like being all these different costumed people. Because unlike a lot of movies where the 40 people play the killer at some point, like he's clearly like taking everybody's stuff and putting it on and doing all that. And I'd love the kill with the creature from the Black Lagoon. He through a damn mirror in the bathroom. That was very Jason. That was very Friday the 13th 8 on the way to Manhattan. You know.
I
that was a
very
lot of that have some rage, build up your rage kind of kill.
Yeah, very much.
budget wise, not as gruesome as some other movies we saw during this like time period. And the fact that they had a month to film
I
explains a lot.
I blame a lot of that on the fact that they had a month to do this and they didn't have like real money for real lighting, even though they had $3 million. This was shot by the same guy that shot Clockwork Orange, though, by the way, and The Shining.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at the same time, I think at least for the movies that we've kind of grown to watch, the suspension of disbelief was kind of
Mhm.
nice in this.
Oh,
Like the poor Eduardo,
Mhm.
I didn't need to I the little bit that we saw where his body was getting run over by the train, I was okay with that. I didn't need to
Yeah,
see, and I'm
yeah,
conditioned now to be like, all right, I'm about to see a head splatter everywhere. And it
right.
was kind of nice not to
So,
have that, but
yeah,
I
we
don't
didn't have
so
know.
the
we didn't need
Terrifier
the.
level effect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say
yeah,
we didn't need the full maximum overdrive
Yeah. No,
Love
Oh
being
my
dead.
God, yeah.
they need all that. No, we do get a good decapitation in this movie though. Like, Doc gets that, which is a good kill. So,
You know, he deserved
Well
it.
deserved.
He
do,
was a piece
you,
of shit.
do you feel like John Alcott though, the cinematographer here, was so sick of looking shooting snow? He shot The Shining and this in the same like time period. You know, so
Oh
he's
yeah.
just constantly looking at
So cold.
bleak things around him.
Yeah,
So,
the
he
seasonal
also,
depression really kicked
yeah.
in.
Ron, he also was the cinematographer on The Beastmaster, which is a big time stay tuned for the two of us.
Oh,
I love
100%.
that movie
Okay,
so
that one's definitely on the
much.
list now. So, because
Um,
anytime you get ferrets and like
oh,
gimps
I grew up
roaming
with
around,
ferrets. I
oh,
I, I grew
No
up with
kidding.
ferrets. Yeah, and
oh,
my before
I,
well, just before I was born, my parents had two ferrets named Poto and Goto.
oh, I feel like we need to
Nice.
do Beastmaster and pair it with like Kindergarten Cop because ferrets are essential to the plot of both.
100%. We
So,
we also love that movie because of ferrets. So
how have we not done Kindergarten Cop yet? By
That
the way,
like Ferret February or something, Jay?
no,
Ferret
well,
February. Yes.
we got terrible twos for that, but there's
Oh,
plenty of
I
room
was
for
gonna say
ferrets.
my parents
Yeah.
would be so happy. Just
There's
the
plenty of
thought
room
of
for we'll have to find a third ferret movie somewhere along the way.
I had a friend in.
Exploding
uh
ferret.
wait, there is another ferret movie. I'm trying to
I mean, there's
remember.
like there's
Um,
like three Beastmaster movies. They all have ferrets.
Yeah.
right, yeah, they all do, right? So,
We'll
But
call
what's
it, I
funny
don't know,
is
mhm.
Beastmaster
uh,
March. I don't know.
a guy at college had a ferret illegally in our college dorm or in our college apartments.
How I, you can't. Okay, listen. I
Illegal
loved
ferret.
I loved Illegal Ferret. Sounds like, I don't know, a fun indie band or something. I
Yes,
was like,
very
yeah, I'm
much
gonna
so.
go see the sock warmers and the Illegal Ferrets.
Over there for the fiddleworm.
Yes. Leg warmers, that's what I was thinking of. The leg warmers and the
There we
illegal
go.
ferret. How did you not get caught though? Because I loved my ferrets, but there's this distinct smell that comes with ferrets that you cannot avoid.
I mean, it was a college apartment,
Touche.
a
Dude,
university-owned college apartment full of
Oh,
men
then never mind.
that were probably 50 years old and had 50 years worth of cigarettes and stale beer smell.
Oh, well,
so
that
the
definitely
ferret
would
just
have
fit
hidden
it
the
right
ferret smell.
in there.
The ferret probably improved the smell of the place.
True.
I hope this is like the short that you come up with, Jay, where we're just talking about
The
ferrets.
ferret. I think that's been decided now at this point. It just terror ferret
Terror ferret.
has
Oh, I like
broken
that.
out. Here
You know, they've
on
got
the
like
show.
the slaughterhouse and stuff. Why don't they have like
Terror
terror
ferret.
ferret? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how,
We've got
but
black sheep. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how you couldn't have a terror ferret. I think
Okay.
I've got
Well,
some friends in this.
Velocipaster X Terror Ferret is
I
the future.
I have
Oh,
a friend.
that's the crossover we all need.
I have a friend studying cinematography. I'm gonna see if I can make this happen.
Oh, let's do
Yeah.
this. That would be great. I will write another song if they do that movie.
There you go.
I will do a parody
I
song
just
for
I'll be
that.
like, I'll be
So,
the first victim. I don't care. Just make it happen.
please, yes. Do you need to kill some podcasters? We volunteer as tribute. So
Oh, I'll volunteer all of you. I'll be like, hey, I've got this podcast that that
yes.
would love to do this.
So, I mean, we
Hey,
Lindsay
we've got
Lindsay can
Scream
be
5. We
Lindsay
got
can
this.
Lindsay can be final girl.
Of
I
course.
will promote her.
hey, I'm the kind of weird looking guy that makes a great first kill in a horror movie, so I'm on board.
I don't know. I kind of think you got the voice to be the killer, but that's just personal preference based on
But
past
I would have to be the
experiences.
voice of the, but I'd have to do the voice of the ferret.
Oh my god, if your voice came out of a ferret, that would be awesome.
There needed to be more ferrets in this movie. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. If there had been a
Yeah.
ferret like as part of the magician act, why not? There was everything else. We were sawing people in
Well,
half or doing all that
there
other
were
stuff.
I mean,
So.
also, there were so many like compartments that were utilized in the train. A
Mhm.
ferret totally would have found that headless body
Right,
before the conductor did. I'm just saying.
right,
Be like,
right.
"Hey, check this out."
Uh, I will give this movie credit for spending something on the costuming budget. And besides all the
Mhm.
things that Kenny Jones did, everybody looked like they were having like they looked like a costume party. I've never been to a few of those in my life, but it was pretty good. I was impressed with the way everybody was playing around, and they looked like they were at least having a good time. So
I
at least the
mean,
catering budget was being used correctly.
yes, as somebody who's done costuming on films and they usually get forgotten, I was very grateful for this. And there was no Spirit Halloween. There was
Oh,
no, like, all of them were very creative, even to I feel so bad, I can't remember her name, but well, first of all, Pet,
mhm.
her costume is very creative, but even her friend who was a mermaid, I was just
Yeah,
thinking
it was well
that looks
done.
really pretty. That looks really nice. And
Yeah,
then
that was
so
Vanity. That's the Canadian singer Vanity
is it really?
was Mary. Yeah, so
How
that
come
was
she
her.
didn't sing?
So I don't think she had come out with anything yet. This was before Nasty Girl.
She
You
hadn't
know,
met Prince yet.
Oh.
yeah, she hadn't done that Prince shit yet. So that was why. So, but she was. Yeah, I mean, I knew I recognized that woman too. I was like, she's somebody. Hold on a minute. To the Google machine I go, and I was like, oh yeah. And so this was before she met Prince, and then before she met Nikki Sixx. Talk about a 180 on Boyfriends, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow. One of them is 5'2", and the other one's like 6'4". They both weigh 112 pounds. It's amazing. So,
Literally, this train should have been called Anything Goes. That should
I
have been the name
mean,
of that train.
that could have worked. Yeah. So, I could have seen that. Yeah. So, I mean, anything almost did go on it, as it were. I do love that. I wanted to ask y'all: do you think David Copperfield was hitting on Elena, um, like trying
Yes.
to show her a better life? And
Hundred
do
percent.
you think that for 5 minutes she's like, "My choices are my stupid boyfriend who
Mhm.
has lousy taste in friends, or a magician. I need to get in grad school quickly."
There's another thread on Reddit. Pick
Yeah.
for me.
Am I the asshole because this magician is really nice to me and seems to be, somewhat normal, except for the fact that he's a fucking trained magician.
I mean, I'm certain that they try to make it look like, oh, because there was that moment of, oh, is David Copperfield in on it? Blah blah blah. But also, I it wasn't a very hard decision for her to pick the magician who
Well,
seems to have his life figured out as
his
opposed
career.
to, I mean, yeah, he's making money? Question mark. I don't know what the money, I don't know what the salary is for a magician at that
Well,
time.
apparently this paid more than birthday party.
Touche.
Yeah. Truth. He was doing
Touche.
that. So, I mean, but it's also like what's wild is again because they're trying to throw all the red herrings on anybody they can, and for the 5 seconds you may think it's him that's
Mhm.
doing any of the killing here or whatever. It's because he just looks like he's just leering at her the whole time and ignoring everyone else. And I don't know. It was funny. It was funny to watch David
Yeah.
Copperfield try to act because there's a difference between performing and acting. I think at least, and he's a talented performer. He's a really good magician, and that takes a lot of connection with an audience. You have to draw. It's a lot of psychology
Mhm.
involved, right? But I don't know that necessarily translates into being able to play a role. I mean, even though he's just
Right.
playing himself.
I mean, it was creepy. If you saw just some random, like, if you literally took the fact that it's David Copperfield out of the equation,
Mm-hmm.
this magician was at this party, this college frat party for New Year's, and this magician, after he finished, just was staring at me from the corner.
Yeah, how would that go for you, Ryan? Just from your perspective as the female voice of the show.
50 Shades of I'm turning around and I'm walking away. I do not need that Coke that Jamie Lee Curtis was drinking. But, again, I
Drinking,
lead to
snorting.
the story. Well, again, I lead to the I'm calling this train the anything goes because, all
Clearly.
inhibitions were just like meh at this point. But yeah, if I saw some guy just staring at me from a corner, just intently like David Copperfield was, even
Yeah.
for the few short seconds that you see it, you know that he's been staring for a while. And if I saw
Yeah.
that, if you have not approached me and you're just standing there, I would immediately turn away and find the
Mhm.
closest friend and say, "This guy's staring at me. We need to go into a different room." Or
Yeah.
find the biggest guy that we're friends with and have him security guard us for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that wasn't just staring. That was leering.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was I mean, again, it was almost
But it
like
wasn't like leering in a sexual way.
No,
It
it was
was
Mhm.
I want to eat you or cut you in
it,
halfway.
it was
Yeah.
leering in that, yeah, exactly. It was leering in the Army Hammer. I'm going to take a bite out of you
Yes.
sort
Yes.
of way.
Very. Well, okay, you said it. It's very 50 Shades. There's a lot of that. Well, okay,
Yeah.
you know what? You just unlocked something for me, Ryan. I
Da da da
think
da 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 da
I,
da.
I, I, I can't prove it. I can't prove it, but I think that Robert Pattinson must have watched this and modeled his whole Edward Cullen off of David Copperfield.
Mhm.
You know what? I can agree. There is always, if it's not David Copperfield, a lot of movies in the early 80s had that one guy that was
Yeah.
the red herring that is staring at you and you go, "Oh, yep, that's the guy
Yep.
who's going to try to cut my arm off later tonight. I know it."
It
And
was 70s porn stash Steve and the original Friday the 13th.
yup,
It was
yup.
Bob from the Bob and Linda and Halloween. It was whatever I
It
forget the
was
loser's
Bob.
name in
Yeah.
Prom Night. Yeah, it was all of them. Yeah, there's always
I,
one dude that's just
What's
too obvious.
funny?
Mhm.
What's funny is the staring didn't make me think of Robert Pattinson like it did you, but that's a good pull. It made me think of um, Julian Sands in Boxing Helena.
Yes. Oh, that's great. That's an incredible pull. Yes.
I've never seen that film, so I'm not
Oh,
sure about that one.
that's
Number
I'll
great.
have
one,
That's
it's
to.
great.
insane.
Okay.
Number two,
I mean, if
Julian
it's
Sands is going for it.
That
if it's called
Capital
Boxing
G.
Elena, yeah.
that lives in the same universe as like Audition and maybe even
Oh,
Society. It's
okay.
kind of in that same place. It's that, yeah.
Okay.
But Julian
I'll
Sands
have
is
to watch that.
nuts in that movie. God, which is saying something. So, by the way,
Yeah, it's in that nice little pocket between Audition,
and,
Society, and
and
I've
Warlock.
actually
Human
never seen
Human
either of those
Centipede.
either. I'm
Ooh,
sorry. I
yeah,
need to
very
get
good.
better.
Very good Human Centipede. Yeah, good call. Yeah,
Hang
kind
on.
of that.
That might be all right.
Yeah. Well, no, we're not going to
Not
review that either. But it lives in
don't
that
stay
same
tuned because
vein.
I'm not going to watch that shit.
Yeah, I ain't
Okay.
watching that. I watched this once because I had to edit those shows, and we're not going to talk about that anymore. I've
Thank God.
forgotten it.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. You admitted you
Um,
said Human Centipede. I went, oh, there was a sequel of that too. What the hell?
and a third one, which is
I
somehow
need
even worse.
Oh boy.
I mean,
Everyone has a thing they're into, I
you
guess.
said Julian Sands, that I immediately was like Warlock. How have we not done Warlock yet? Okay, stay tuned.
Great
Ooh,
question.
okay.
Warlock, Waxwork,
Mhm.
and like Ghoulies, maybe Ghoulies too.
Ooh,
So,
okay. No, I'm down for
Wishmaster.
Warlock. Wishmaster. That should be our next we should add those to
Have a W month.
October. I mean,
Is there a month with a W in it?
March Master. Well, no. I mean, if you turn, well,
March
according to
Magic.
Glinda, Madame Morrible,
I like
Wicked
it.
Witch.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, that's playing right into the theme now.
I mean, you
So,
could
Yeah,
call it
March
could be
Magic.
our.
We could do Witchmaster. We could do
I like March
Yeah.
Magic. That's
He's
great.
back. I was gonna say, could we turn March Madness into something like
I
that? But I
think
like
we
that
just
well.
did.
March Magic. I like it. I
We've
like it.
already done Mark's Madness, so we're ready for.
It's
Ah,
time to go full on.
we're
So,
getting
yeah.
ready for the new year, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I love how we're like having a review and we're also doing podcast business at the same time. So,
Podcast that and talking about ferrets. I like this
is
plan.
great. Well, I mean, if you've been listening to the show long enough, that's not even the wildest tangent
That's
we've been on.
no, that's
No,
I think thus far the wildest tangent was the sessions where we started talking about bugs and vermin.
fruitcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Um,
was a wild time to listen to it edit. I just want y'all to know.
No,
I
sorry
greatly
you were
missed that I wasn't there, but I felt like I was. It's like, wow,
you
I'm there
you
in
were there
spirit. My
in spirit,
derailing,
like Lindsay is tonight.
random thought progression is there in spirit. So.
Oh,
The
be-
kills in this movie, though, to get us back on track real quick. I've got to say, they don't go over with the gore.
Back on track because it's a train.
I didn't even think about that. He said the thing. I didn't even mean to do that. I got to say, I really did like the kills in this. I thought Kenny really varied up ways he would whack somebody, and it was all like practical stuff that you would find on a train to be able to deal with.
Mhm.
He didn't come prepared to murder. like he was prepared to do murder, but he didn't have implements for murder. It's like he's like, I'm just going to get in this train, and I'm sure there's plenty of shit to kill people with, and then he just
Well,
goes
with
with
the
it.
amount of fireman axes that they were finding all over the place,
Quite a
that's
few.
not.
Yeah.
But you brought up a very good point. I do like the fact that he utilized the compartments and
Mhm.
somehow got a hold of like the keys to lock the bathroom, and putting Doc's body up in the upper compartment, which in itself should have shown that
Yeah.
he was strong, unless you wanted to pull a Betsy Palmer from the original Friday the 13th,
Mhm.
where with the body in the tree, and it's like Betsy Palmer did that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like your
but
grandma like doing that, but sure.
but he definitely, I mean, he was meticulous enough to know that he needed to be here for this, so that
Mhm.
alludes to the fact that he's been stalking them for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And but even when Doc is like freaking out, he's checking, like he's stabbing up above the lockers in that space under the bed, but he forgets under the couch that he's lying on. So
Mhm.
um I think that sometimes you look at Kenny and you go, there's no way that this guy can kill these people. But he really did utilize the train to the best of his abilities as a skinny little skinny little man.
Well, I mean, he had to pass as the magician's assistant, the skinny
Right.
blonde, and then he
Yeah.
had to pass as all these other people, and he pulled it off. I mean, it was well done. I mean, I know we said the guy wasn't an actor. Clearly, he could do these like costuming roles and things like
The
that, and
man of
that takes
many
a lot of
faces.
skill. Yeah, exactly. It takes
He's
some
not Doug
skill.
Jones, but that's okay.
I mean, wow. Yeah. Now I'm wow. Oof, I hadn't thought about Doug Jones in a minute, but yeah, he could. How did Tubi not get Doug? Well, never mind. They couldn't afford him.
Well, people would notice if the magician's assistant was like 6'4" before she stepped into his shoes.
I mean, he is 6'2", so she's already
I,
taller
That's
than he
fair.
is. So I
I
mean,
mean, David Copperfield. I love that they tried to make David Copperfield look about the same height as his
Mhm.
Yeah.
assistant in some shots, and I went,
I
that's
mean,
not.
he's just under 6 feet,
I mean,
probably, but
yeah, no, it
you
was
know,
definitely like a supernatural, let's get the box sort of thing.
look, we're not going to talk about the reasons why I know this, not on this podcast, and it happened before photography existed. But I have had on a set of high heels, and it makes you really tall. And
As
and
someone who wears high heels, and so
there you go.
I
But I'm
it's
tall
nice.
anyway, and that
Yes.
makes you really tall. So I'm like, this is a very tall person that we're looking like. If Shaggy and Scooby and the gang were on the train, like we're obviously looking for a tall person. Joint,
Oh, Shaggy'd
you
be
know.
dead. Shaggy,
Oh,
bless his heart, he'd
Shaggy
be
be
dead.
toast.
Oh,
Yeah,
he'd be so dead.
yeah.
But
Daphne probably too. She probably bite it. Yeah, Daphne and
I feel
Fred.
like they would go after Velma first, but
Yeah, because she's the smart one. You got to take the smart one out.
Well, and she can't see without her glasses.
That's
as we
right.
know.
Knock them things off and it's over. Yeah, them
the
coke
amount of
bottles are
times
gone.
that girl should have died because of XY reason, but they were it's kind of like for those who have watched Sailor Moon, it's like the villains just waited for them to go through their full transformation that took like 30 seconds plus everybody else that joined in on it. It's gentleman's rules, so to speak.
Yeah. It's like anytime the werewolf started to transform in Silver Bullet, it's like they could have killed
Yes.
it at any time, but let's just wait for Everett McGill to be weirder.
Well, some of the monsters in Scooby Doo were kind enough to hand the glasses back to Velma.
They
They're like,
were,
you know
they
what,
were, they were nice. Yeah.
we're gonna mess with you. We're gonna
The
go
electric
after you.
monster, I remember that one
Yep,
doing
yep.
that. So yeah, I always liked
Some
that one. I think it was because he was in the opening credits or whatever. But
classic.
this would have been a Scooby Doo. It would have been Ben Johnson who was trying to do it. He would have got away with it if it weren't for the meddling kids.
Oh,
But would they have taken
100%.
Ben Johnson's mask off and revealed him to be Kenny?
Yeah, Steve, that's how it would have gone. Yeah, is that he actually was Kenny. This large, big, burly man is actually this skinny, you know.
Yeah, this giant leather cowboy.
Yeah, exactly. He's made out of like, I don't know, wild turkey and sun. You know,
Oh my god.
that's all that he is at this point.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I'm,
look, I don't know why he took this role. Good on him for still getting work at this point. I'd call him he's playing Grubby Ben Johnson, and it's just because that's what he was. He was always kind of grumpy, and I mean, I've seen him in things, going all the way back. 'Cause I grew up watching all the Westerns and stuff with my dad. And then,
Yeah.
The Last Picture Show was a big movie of, when I was younger, and seeing that. And then even in something like The Getaway, the original Getaway,
Well,
where
he
he's,
was also on Bonanza, right? And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how I
Hmm.
recognized him because my
Hmm.
my family would sometimes, for my grandfather,
Hmm.
would put on like reruns of Bonanza, and I was looking at
Oh.
this guy going, I know him. How do I
Hmm.
know him? And then I pulled up his credits and went, oh, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the first thing I saw him and that I knew who he was or knew the face was I saw Red Dawn, and he's in that
That
for
was
what
the other one that I thought
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
about 10 minutes. But he's in all these things, and then you go back and you see him in stuff like the Sax Sword. But he's so I don't know, like I get that he's there to try to explain like this is why they're able to get this train and this is what they're supposed to do, and they got to have
Hmm.
somebody that can knock the killer out. Did it bother y'all that he's the one that got the killing blow in, or did you want Jamie Lee Curtis to throw Kenny off the train?
You know what? It's really funny. I was like, okay, he's the one who killed him. What drove me nuts about him was when he found, I think his name was Jackson, his dead body. And he was just so chill about it. Walked into
Mm-hmm.
the back cart and was like, do you have anything stiffer? Um, there's a dead kid in the bathroom. And that's it. And I get that he's like trying to keep calm, cool, and collected. I did not think he was the character for that.
No, no,
That's a guy who fought in World War II
yeah.
and has seen some dead bodies.
He has seen a lot of stuff. It's not remotely phased by this crap at
I
all.
actually did think for a hot second that he was just going to keep finding the dead bodies and they were just going to keep popping up like
Yeah.
Jackson did. And the guy with him was just going to be like, okay, no, we're done. You don't know what you're talking about. You've hit the hard stuff. We're moving on.
The thing I hate about New Year's Eve parties is all the damn murdering on the train.
These damn med
Now,
students who just bring on, blood
now,
packs and disembodied
didn't
fingers.
didn't the college kids give them some joints
Oh yeah, very much so.
as a
Yeah.
tip?
Yeah.
The other one, yes,
Mhm.
that
Oh,
somehow survived. No,
Mhm.
he died. Did he
Yeah,
die?
yeah. There's a lot of killing in this. Yeah, not many people got off the train. So.
the are you talking about the brakeman or the Free
Yes.
Will Baptist who didn't touch the cards?
Free Will Baptist. Did he die? I don't think we ever saw him
No,
die, but
I
I
think he
think
died. No.
I think he
uh,
died. I
Mhm.
think he's the one that died, and that's how he ended up with the train going out of control, and they have to come and give it the emergency stop.
I thought that was Shovel because there
Oh,
was
I
a
bet it.
there was
Okay,
a
it was
young
Shovel.
boy. Yeah, they
Mhm.
were like, where's Shovel and the other guy? And they never found them except for their hat with a blood stain.
I
Which
think they were like off-screen kills, right? So
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
In
had
the
to have
st-
been.
in the stock footage, looking out back of the train.
You were not
It's
prepared for the macabre of the train. So
it's funny
John
because
Larroquette.
it's really funny because when I was a teenager, I went to a Free Will Baptist church,
Oh, really?
so
Oh.
I knew exactly what he was talking about when he said he wouldn't touch cards because I knew people like that.
You knew, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wow. Nothing like
I
watching a fun movie to bring back childhood trauma. So
yeah,
I
pretty much.
I I thought the fact that the conductor knowing magic would have gone a little bit further in
yeah,
that,
yeah.
especially when Jamie Lee Curtis locked herself up in the box in the back
The
cart.
cage.
Yeah, because it was like multiple chains, and I thought, oh, Kenny is gonna, because supposedly he's a magician, maybe. But then I went, oh, maybe the conductor, like this would come full circle, and it didn't.
Yeah, so that's what I keep going back to. Like, I feel like there was a way to do this where the conductor
Mm.
was in on it because he was Kenny's dad.
Right.
It's like you just, it's part of the whole like y'all mistreated my poor boy. and then I helped him get his revenge, or whatever.
Thanks for quoting Roy there, Jay.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it would have made sense because they kept leading to the fact that he's retiring. He's in the RV business. He's so
I'll
overtrained.
move him eventually. Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
has side
RV.
subplot.
Yeah,
You know?
RVs. They went really far too. I mean, they did, but also
So, is there a world in which Ben Johnson after this becomes the Winnebago Man?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think this is
Except Ben Johnson wouldn't use that kind of language because one of his prerequisites for the film was they had to change some of the dialogue because it was
really.
too offensive. Yeah.
No,
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
the fact that they were throwing transgender slurs and everything, somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Well, the
not remotely.
transgender slurs were off the set and
Mm.
possibly on the set, but I don't think Ben Johnson partook.
Oh no, what I'm saying is that if they were in the script and he was like, "No, you need to change it," and knowing that information now, I'm like, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, but I mean, it's a wild resolve in that Kenny doesn't want to kill Elena. Is the thing. Like, he's killed everybody else in the damn train, but he doesn't want to kill her. He actually does like do that. So you busy Friday? Like,
Yeah, that's why I said True Love's kiss could have
right.
screwed him up.
Yeah, and then she's like, okay, and then she goes with it. That's the wild part is that she's like, okay, sure. Well, I guess at that point, what do you got left to lose?
I mean,
You're
she
told her.
actually did kiss him. She could have very
Yeah.
clearly just been like, kiss him, but not put any effort into it.
Yeah, yeah, which leads me to the natural place of sequel, which would have been, the Elena train, where she like the crazy passes on to her through
The A train.
There we go. So, but like no, like that you get that look in the camera at the end where she's like, and now it'll be my turn, or whatever. But
Did you guys notice? I don't know if you caught this, but I thought I was giggling a little bit when Jamie Lee Curtis opened her compartment and saw a hanger. At first, I went, is she going to pull a Halloween where she's just going to hold the hanger and just like freaking go at him if he comes near him?
That feels like it, yeah. So that feels like that could happen.
I was like, is that an homage or I don't know, but before I forget, my comment about prom night, because I know that you mentioned this earlier, Jay. The reason that I said that there was some thoughts, and this connects to the killing aspect with Kenny, is I had not seen the original prom night until much later. As some people have heard, I got into horror later in life. So the first one I saw was the remake. And I remember watching it because my best friend wanted to watch it for her birthday. And we were watching it, and it was like the bad guy, the crazy stalker is killing people. And then nobody notices. They're all just partying, and someone goes, "Oh, where's such and such?" "Oh, I don't know. Let me go find them." And then that person dies. And then it's, "Well, where did they go?" "I don't know. Let me go find them." And I paused at the 30-minute mark going, no one has noticed a dead body yet. And it just reminded me of that moment. And when the conductor found the first body, I was like, finally. Because I thought the movie was a little slow paced at the beginning. I was like, finally. And then there was the, oh, JK, he's not dead. And I went, all right, we're right back to this incident again. All right, who else is going to die?
Yeah.
No, he was dead. EJ, is that his name?
Yes.
He was dead.
Was it
Kenny
EJ or Jackson? Oh, yeah.
Jackson, I think. Jackson is dead, but he just wedges himself into the Jackson costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was really smart. And
then somehow he gets dragged off to make the sound of the Serpent King with what was her name? Pet?
Yeah.
Pet. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to do some petting. And then and she somehow doesn't realize that, hey, this is a completely different white guy. Did she not see his white eyes?
Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, like Pet seemed to have imbibed some serious substances on this thing that made her really like somehow, I don't know, unable to notice anything around her or to pick up on cues from anyone in the movie.
Are you talking about Mitchie, the best friend of Elena? Or are
No,
we
Oh,
talking
I'm
about
maybe.
Pet?
You're talking
Okay.
about Mitchie. I'm talking. Ron was. I'm talking about Pet. But yeah,
Okay.
Mitchie's a different. Mitchie and like Elena are actual friends, I think.
Yes. Oh,
So
sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was feeling up Pet too.
Pet
yeah,
Pet was the one who was trying to molest Mo, right?
Mo.
Yes.
Yes, very much.
That scene got R-rated R.
Yeah, that's we got our obligatory nudity for '80s movies. Yeah, so
So one of the things when they give the pot to the train crew, Doc intimates that it has been laced with something
like
Oh,
what?
that's right. Was it that or
like
was it the
hallucinogens.
drinks?
Oh wow.
Oh, you're right, because that's what gets Elena really mad because she's like, I thought we were over this
But
Yes.
prank.
what? Yeah, but like, okay, so what's that gonna do for the train ride? The train is just gonna go down the tracks. It's not gonna
Until
have
it
a
abruptly
driver.
stops.
Until it abruptly stops because a giant 20-foot tall pink snowman walks out and
Right.
says, "You need to stop the train."
There we go.
Man, let me tell you what, in that temperature, I'm certain all of them sobered up real fast.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have. Yeah. I think that kind of drift, is well, especially Kenny when he hit that cold water, or the production assistant, as it were. But
The polar
that would,
plunge. Yes.
yeah, there you go, the polar plunge.
Oh
No,
my God.
it's
But that
wild.
makes me think that all of the kids are getting involved into some laced marijuana situations.
It was the
Yeah.
early '80s, right? It was before we started scaring the hell out of everybody about all this stuff in school. So
I
Yeah.
mean, I
before
think that
Dare,
also they are going to a party thrown by Doc. I
you
think that
kind of
they're like,
like he's like,
So
well, I mean, he's probably
"Yeah."
going to put that foot on my head again, or something like that. Like they
I
know.
mean,
so you know
I,
he's already got the prescription pad out and he's
oh my,
everybody's getting something good from the medicine chest.
which makes me, now that reminds me, makes me laugh when he's like trying to save Mo and he's like, somebody help! I'm a doctor. I'm like, you're not doing a very good job
Like you're
at
not even like
all.
in medical school yet. You've maybe had 2 anatomy classes.
He's pre-med.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
well,
mean,
they're graduating, but
it's like you don't know what's going on with him. Why are you carrying him around? Why didn't you lay him on the floor and like for
something.
something? And
Well,
then he's like, "Oh, he's bleeding everywhere." Mm.
Yeah. People with 18 stab wounds tend to bleed.
yeah, maybe we should stop those towels. Anyone? Maybe a magician's cape.
Paper
Something.
towels from the bathroom that's locked.
There we go. Right. Because we think
Yeah,
people are
David
in there on
Copperfield's
the.
going to show up with a bunch of handkerchiefs sticking
There
out
we
of his
go.
sleeve. He's
Yeah,
going to do the
Right.
yeah,
I
David
mean,
Copperfield just keeps pulling him out. He's
that
like,
would have
yep,
been a
yep, yep,
great
yep, yep.
gag. Like, here, you need to know what you need to know. That would have been funny, actually.
Oh man, if only blooper reels were a thing back then.
They could have done that. Oh, yeah, they making this movie so fast. There's probably nothing on the cutting room floor.
Oh my
Everything that they
gosh.
usable got stuck in the movie. So
Oh my
the
god.
fact that this I mean, it made $8 million, so it was profitable. It wasn't profitable the way the production company wanted it. Why do y'all think it? I mean, it didn't hit as well as some of the other things of the era. I mean, it's got a cult status, and we're talking about it now, obviously. But at the time, what do you think like kept it from hitting the stratosphere of some of the other stuff?
Hmm.
a great question because you
Yeah.
feel like Jamie Lee Curtis should be pretty bankable at this point.
Hmm.
But I know one of the reasons she took this movie was because she was afraid she was never going to get any other movie roles. So
Yeah,
she just took prom night in this.
yeah,
So maybe she wasn't as seen as much of a draw as the success of Halloween would have suggested that she would be the draw.
yeah. I don't
Hmm.
think she came out of Halloween as the star. Like John Carpenter kind of came out of Halloween as the
Yeah.
bankable thing, and then that none of it worked out, which is the wild part of that. And it was years like what made her bankable was Trading Places when she
Mm,
did well, and she'll tell you. She's a natural ham as just a person. If you've ever seen Jamie Lee Curtis talk, too,
She's
because you
hilarious.
can't hide this. She's just who she is. But she is for people who are like, oh, can you do comedy? She's like, that's all I do. Like that's all I do. I get in trouble for it all the time. So she's when she did that, that made her like a different, because that was a hell of a performance too. I mean, that movie's
It
amazing,
is.
and everything about that movie works.
Great
And
Christmas movie.
it's an incredible Christmas movie. It's an annual tradition for me, as we talked about many moons ago on a sessions in the archives. But I think we had everybody on that show. God, what a wild idea! But I remember thinking like, it wasn't her that made it bankable, right? So like people would know her, but she's also not in this that much. I mean, she's in this as much as she is Halloween 2. She's only in a little bit of it, she gets top billing because she's a big, and Ben Johnson gets top billing, but she's the only other like star at the time. I think Hart Bachner had done one other thing that anyone would know, but nobody knew who he was. So I don't know. Like I'm just curious why it didn't work, because it's got everything that you want out of the era of the slasher. I mean, it's fine,
I think just because I pulled this up really quickly. There was also probably an issue of which there were some other major movies that came out literally that exact same month in
Good point.
1980. We had, for example, Private Benjamin. We
Mm.
had The Shining came
Yeah.
out in October of 1980, and Motel Hell also.
Ooh,
Fabulous movie.
that's an
Yeah,
incredible movie. Yeah.
right. So I
Stay
think the
tuned.
other
Yeah. Big
and
time.
and a couple of other like major motion pictures. So I think there would probably also be a situation in which it might have gotten buried
Mm.
to like during that time. But I mean, I don't know. It's always hard because I think for us in this day and age, like they're called classics for a reason. And sometimes we can understand like why they were missed and sometimes we don't. Um but like even looking at this, it's like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining came out, which was based off of a Stephen King book. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I also feel like number one, every time anybody talks about a cult movie and how it's gained popularity and whatnot, I always think about John Carpenter saying, "Well, where the fuck were you people when this movie came out? It could have done some
Right.
good."
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Exactly.
I
But
mean,
I
you look
also think by like this point, we'd already started to get a little bit of slasher fatigue
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you hadn't had like Nightmare on Elm Street to really kind of boost it and give it a different twist,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like by then you'd gotten there just been a glut of like Captain Stabby Stab
mhm.
and the cheerleader murders kind
That's
of flicks,
true. Yeah.
Because like I guarantee you, I
Yeah.
guarantee you, after Halloween came out and was a big success, every
Mhm.
Giallo movie got bought up, dubbed, and sent to America to try to
Yeah.
make $5.
Oh yeah. No.
And
Yeah. You're right.
and all those
Horror.
movies are like black gloves, titties, and razors. The
Yep.
the motion picture,
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have come down to just like, Halloween came out in 78. That would have been 2
Mm-hmm.
years for people to just gobble all that up. And at that point, everyone was just kind of over slasher films. Not that sounds blasphemous to me, but
Yeah, well, I think you're into something too. You got to remember there is no home video market, so things are in theaters for a long time. And when you got a
mhm.
ton of them in the theater at once, maybe people are just like, it's just it's becoming the same old thing. Like you said, Ron, they fell into a formula until Nightmare kind of kicked it into a different direction. And then you had the resurgence in the late '80s, and then you had all the '90s stuff that happened that was just going off the rails, and then Scream reinvented the game, and then everything that copied that for 8 or 9 years, and so
yeah, it's like it's the same cycle where it's Die Hard on a blank
yeah,
comes
yeah,
from.
exactly. Well,
So it's
this is
Halloween on a
the
blank.
trail.
Exactly. You
Yeah,
nailed it
exactly.
perfectly, which
Yeah, well, all Friday the
fabulous.
13th is Halloween in the woods. Like, that's what Sean Cunningham says. Like, well, we can do that in the woods, and he wasn't wrong. They did. So, well, I think we're at the part of the podcast where it's time to give final thoughts, popcorn ratings, and so what are yours for Terror Train? Ryan, let's start with you.
Oh, every time. I always feel like I give either too much or too little. Um, you know, I I probably will rag on this movie, and I did. However, sometimes the movies that I rag on are the ones that I love the most. I do understand why this is a cult classic. It's cheesy. It's cheesy, like rated R for 1980. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis. It's got David Copperfield. If you didn't like look at the credits, you know, you should have, and you would have had a general idea. But I am, I have to, there's something kind of special about it because it was filmed literally in a month. And I don't think it's a little hidden gem. So I'm going to give this a medium popcorn, little over buttered, little too much salt, but you keep going back for more because it's a little addictive. So that's what I'm gonna say about that one.
All right, Ron, what about you?
I'm going to join you in the medium popcorn club. This is the movie that has a lot of flaws. The pacing's a little weird. But there's so many things that I find enjoyable about it. Like Ben Johnson just stalking up and down a train, looking every bit the Marlboro Man that he actually was.
Yeah.
It's like cowboy train conductor versus 80s slasher versus like cross-dressing 80s slasher. It's like like the Alien versus Predator of 1980, right? So,
Wow.
it's a fun combination. Jamie Lee Curtis is great. I enjoy a lot of the weird David Copperfield bits just because it's so interesting to see him like trying to act and how uncomfortable he looks as an actor versus how much more comfortable he looks when he's doing magic tricks.
Mm-hmm.
When he's performing, he looks captivating. When he's like trying to like have romantic tension with Jamie Lee Curtis, it's kind of not super effective. Which, maybe Jamie Lee Curtis knew something we would later find out about him in his weird sex island, but that's fair. Casual libel here on no, libel is written, slander is spoken, right?
Yeah, slander is
Yes.
spoken. Is
Right,
it
casual.
It's true?
Well, I mean, they can make the argument that it is, but not the point. The point is, this movie's fun. It's not like great. It's not nowhere near like New Year's Evil. But after you've watched New Year's Evil and you've had a couple of beverages and you're trying to kill time between, the ball drop and last call on New Year's, this is, or you're trying to like get in the mood for New Year's Evil later on in the evening. This is a good warm up act. So medium popcorn.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 for 3 on the medium popcorns, and I'm gonna steal your thing, Ron. This is the opening act for New Year's Evil. If you want to do like a horror movie, New Year's Eve situation, I feel like this is like the opening act. It's not the band you came to see, but they got a song or two you might like. It ain't half bad, pretty good. That one's kind of got a hook to it.
Well, like
fun.
Well, like when movies originally came out, there was an A picture and a B picture.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So in the double feature, this would be the B picture.
Yeah, totally, and that would be fine. Like it's completely fine. It doesn't ask a lot of you. Like we've tried to pick it apart and give it a whole lot of, I don't know, psychological awareness that I don't think's really there. It's just gonna go for the cheap thrill, and it's fun that way. It kind of works on that level. David Copperfield is fun. Jamie Lee Curtis is fun. Hurt Bogner's fun in this again, playing just I guess the typecast yuppie. I mean, he was the proto yuppie, and then he became the yuppie. But he's good. It's fun. It's ridiculous, but it's also really well shot. I mean, again, I'll go back. You got a real cinematographer and a real director, doing this with real money. Like the thing about all the slashers that really made money is that they were all done on the cheap. This one had a lot of money, and it didn't perform the way they wanted, but it's still totally watchable and is a lot of fun. And I'll go ahead and tell you too. I haven't seen the part 2 of it, but the Tubi remake's a lot of fun too. I would recommend that one. It's kind of same medium popcorn, goofy fun. This is a goofy movie and it's a goofy premise, but it's fun and it goes down easy enough. It's like good candied popcorn. You don't want too much of it, but every now and then that's okay. So I'm.
It's like the caramel popcorn in the tin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get the trifecta tin. This
Yeah.
year, and that's maybe the last one. But you want a little bit more sometimes, along with that wonderful butter flavor, and then that cheddar that like stains your
Oh,
soul,
Yeah.
as it
forever.
should, because you'll
Yes.
always remember it in your
Yeah.
heart and in your blood.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like cheddar popcorn needs its own horror movie directed by Ryan now.
No, I'm just saying it's got probably a lot of preservatives in it, and I'm a
You-
millennial, so probably my whole body is made of preservatives from my childhood.
You're not ready for the cheddar dusting.
You are not ready for the cheddar dusting.
Speaking of AI, this podcast was made by people not using AI. Just been a lot of fun talking about it with you guys, as always. As we wrap up a year here on Film Strip, another year, we'll come back in January with some more fun, and we're already planning, as you heard us do live on the show here, some theme months, some fun things down the line with our friends out there in the pod world, and of course with us here. But you can always follow us on the social media at Film Strip Pod, where we post updates about shows. We're now into posting like clips from shows and stuff. And of course, you can find this podcast everywhere. We really want you to go out and subscribe to our YouTube channel, though. We're going to start trying to do some more video content, which is just going to be watching us talk at the screen instead of just listening to us. But all of our episodes are there. And hey, spread the word as well, because it's the right thing to do during the holiday season. Spread some joy, and also makes us feel really good about ourselves. And if you
Your
have
gift
anything
to
mean
us.
to say, keep it to yourself. Anyway,
Jay knows when you've been sleeping, and he knows when you're awake.
I'm not.
He's like David Copperfield, and you're the
I'm
Elaine.
not doing a Ricky from the Silent Night Deadly Nights, but
No, you're David Copperfield in this moment.
No, you're doing what's his
Oh.
name from Black Christmas? Billy.
Oh,
Billy, oh yeah.
You're just pressing your eyeball into a crack in the wall.
you know how they say fix your face? We're going to be like, Jay, stop. You're staring too much. You're scaring the children.
It wouldn't be the first time someone said that. but anyway, it's been a lot of fun here as always, and we appreciate y'all's support. So for Ryan, Lindsay, and Ron, I'm Jay. Thank you for listening to Film Strip.
Thank you for listening to Film Strip. You can find more episodes on our website, filmstrippodcast.com. The Film Strip theme music is produced and performed by Frozen Lake 121. All content used or discussed in these podcast episodes is the property of the respective owners and used under the Fair Use Act, Section 504, C2, Title 17.